Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning into CAEL Live. Today, we're sharing common questions that you might have as an international student planning to study in Canada. Hello again. If you're joining us for the first time, CAEL Live is an interactive series where we guide you through your journey as an international student in Canada. We talk about international student life, admissions, and much more. We will also, of course, be talking about the CAEL test. So if you're an international student looking for guidance, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be notified about new episodes. In today's episode, we're answering common questions that you may have as an international student. We are joined by Bruno Perron, who is the president of Class Education. Class Education is a Canadian company with more than 20 years of experience helping students from Latin America pursue their education in Canada. So if you have any questions about international education in Canada, or if you're only just starting your research and are not sure what to ask, this episode is a great place to start. Let's go say hello to our guest. Hi, Bruno. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to have you here.
It's my pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Great. So I know that we have a couple of questions for you, and I'm going to get you started right away. Firstly, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Okay, my name is Bruno Perron. I'm the president and founder of Class Education. Class Education is a 27-year-old agency that was born out of Mexico, but now operates all over Latin America. And we focus on the Canadian educational system, and we assist our clients into coming to Canada from summer camps, high schools, language programs, all the way to college, universities, MBAs, postgraduate studies, and all that. So we're a full service agency offering services from finding the right school, the right program, visa, housing, insurance, coordination of the trip to land in Canada, and especially in COVID times, with all the precautions and the needs of special needs that we have to bring into, including quarantine services and all that. So we are a full service agency for our clients.
Great. And since you have so much experience working with students, could you tell us what it is about Canada that makes it a top destination for students, especially students from Latin America?
Well, so many reasons. Don't know where to start. To be honest, I'm Canadian myself, and I think I know the country quite well. I know the benefits that the country offers, but also in comparison to other countries, Canada is number one in the field, and it's leading the field, and that's why I think it shows in the numbers. It shows in the interest of the students, and it also shows in the on the rankings. This year Canada is number one country in the world, first destination in the world as well for international studies. So there's a lot of good reasons. But if I have to name, let's say 5 or 6, I would say the benefits that the Canadian government offers to the students through the through the study permit are amazing. As students at post-secondary level, meaning at college or universities, students can work part-time while they're studying. They can work full-time during their breaks, during their official break from studies. Upon graduation, they automatically are eligible for a work permit for up to 3 years. If they come with their partner, their partner can work full time from day one. And if they have kids between the age of 5 and 18, these young people can also study in our public school system at no charge. So that in itself is amazing, and I don't know of any other countries in the world that offer that to begin with. And then on top of that, after you start working in your 3-year postgraduate work permit, you are also eligible, or you have most of the requirements to apply for the permanent residency status in Canada, which is also very attractive for a lot of our students anyway.
Wow, sounds amazing. So one of the things that you were just talking about was like post-secondary education and how important it is and how it's one of the most popular choices for international students especially. So what can you tell us about the Canadian post-secondary institutions that students should be considering? What are some key things that they should think about when they're planning to apply to a post-secondary education in Canada?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd look exactly what it is that one wants to study, and really not choose the institution over the program. Look really what is the program you want to study, and let the experts do their work and find out which institution in Canada offer that program, where, at what cost, and what are the requirements and all that. That's very, I think that's center. That's very, very important. What they should consider as well is the the different options that are available to the students. I mean, there are postgraduate of 2 years, there are postgraduate studies of 1 year. Some programs are longer than others. Some cities are more expensive or less expensive than others. So there's a lot of considerations. In the case of our students, where they come from warm countries, I think the weather should also be an element that they should at least understand, and because it is a very different climate than their country. But overall, I think the Canadian education system is very good, very competitive worldwide, at a very good price, and at least in Mexico, for example, it compares very well with the private educational offer in the country. So it's about the same price, but the benefits are so predominant in terms of learning a second language very well, work experience. An international program always brings a lot to your curriculum, whether you stay in that country or you go back to your country afterwards. I think there's a lot of uh, of growing, personal growing, educational maturity that looks great also on a resume. But also Canada is very welcoming, as you know, to international students, and Canada needs international students. So there's a codependence there that's very, very interesting, as we see that so many labor opportunities open to students while they're studying and after upon graduation as well, because Canada is growing as an economy, and Canada has a lot of opportunity for students to stay in the country. So I think this is something that you should consider. You should really consider Canada if you're willing to start studying abroad. And yeah, so these are, I think these are the main things that you should focus on. And I would truly think that working with professional people that can guide you through all this ocean of information is very important, and you can actually save time, money, and also largely increase your chances of being accepted in such institution, and also getting a positive processing of your visa, because that's also crucial in the process.
Thank you for that. Something that you were just talking about right now reminded me of another question that is very popular among international students,
Mhm.
talking about post graduation and courses that provide post graduation education. Does any post graduation permit make it so that you're able to work, or are there only a certain number of courses, and how can students identify that?
Okay, I would say it's most of them, and the easy rule to apply is that all public institutions, post-secondary programs are eligible for the postgraduate work permit. So all of them, if it's a public institution. If it's a 1 year program, you will only get a 1 year postgraduate study permit. If it's a 2 year or more year program, a 2 year or 4 or 3 or 4 year program, you will automatically get the 3 year postgraduate work permit. Now, if it's a private institution, if it's a bachelor degree of 4 years, you will get access to that same postgraduate work permit. If it's a master or postgraduate, you will also get that 3 year work permit. But if it's a diploma, for example, it doesn't apply. Or if it's a 1 year certificate, it does not apply either, unless, again, there's always an exception, and the exception again is Quebec, my home province. uh, in Quebec, they apply this rule differently, and some programs in private institution for 2 years could also be eligible, sorry, for the postgraduate work permit. Over there, they calculate it by number of hours of the program. So any program of 18 hours, 1,800 hours and more would be considered for the postgraduate work permit as well, even though it's a private institution. So it's a little bit different in Quebec, but in the rest of the country, it is all the public institutions are eligible for that permit.
Thank you for sharing that. I did not, I wasn't aware of the program in Quebec. It's good to know. So, seeing as there are so many options and so many choices, what are some factors that students may or may not consider when thinking about choosing to study in Canada? What are some things that you find students you've worked with usually forget or leave out, and turns out they should have prepared for it beforehand?
Well, I would say the number one factor is their English level, and so often enough they say, "Okay, I've got my bachelor's degree here in my country, and now I want to do a master's or specialization or of any sort," and they assume that they speak English, but they haven't tested their English. And here it's either English or French. So, pick one. But if it's English, you need to be able to prove it. It's not enough to say I speak English quite well. It's not enough. You need to have a document, and that's where CAEL comes into play, and that's very, very important. It's not only important for the institution to be able to qualify the level of English of the students, because the classroom will be in English, and the professor will speak at lightning speed, and will not slow down for international students, because he doesn't have to, or she doesn't have to, right? So I'd say the number one factor is that a lot of people speak English in Latin America, but a lot of people don't speak well enough, and sometimes they need to prepare for that, or take a test to see what their level, and if they're not at par, then they can take a program to upgrade their level of English to be able to pass that test, because without it, the institution will not process their application.
True. And that's why we're trying to make sure that with Kale Test, at least, we're trying to make sure that the test comes to you. So the test is available online, and you can take it at home, your English test. Bruno, something that you also mentioned just now kind of piqued my interest. You were talking about the value of English beyond just the classroom experience, value of English beyond just your admissions. Could you tell us a little bit more about where you see English coming into play outside of just getting an admission?
Well, getting an admission is central, and it's very, very important. But also, let's say the institution would let you in without, a proof of the English. Having a good level of English when you live and work and study in an English speaking country is tremendous. It will help you finding a uh, better position in terms of work. It will improve your social skills as well. It will improve your grades in the school, because a lot of reports and investigation that you need to do while studying, you'll suffer so much if you don't have a good level of English, that it will affect your grades as well. So you'll get better grades, you get better jobs, and just you leave free of stress, and free of not being able to express yourself the way you want and need to express yourself. So I think having a good level of English is important, and not knowing it is doesn't need to be a burden. It's easy now that the CAEL exam is online. You can schedule your appointment. It's easy, hassle free, and you can just get up and do the test, and you can do many times as well. And I know you also have a lot of material to prepare for the test as well, and that's also of great value to the students that I want to get a better grade, and also I want to continue to grow in the English language.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. One of the questions that I really like asking all our guests, and in this case, I would love to ask you as well, is in your experience working with class education for so many years, what is your favorite part about working with international students who are choosing to study in Canada?
Well, I have to tell you, it's very rewarding to work with students, because I would say everyone is different, but at the same time, we all have hopes and dreams of improving as human beings, of growing, and sometimes are looking for greener pastures, more opportunities, better lives, better quality of life for ourselves, our families, our children, and when you get to help someone to realize that dream, it's very rewarding. It's very exciting. It's sometimes it gives us goosebumps. You see people that are uh, leaving a lot behind, or putting in our hands their future, and seeing that plan going according to what we are planning for them, and seeing it happen before their eyes, and seeing their face change, and the little light in their eyes really coming on. That is priceless for me. I've been doing it for 27 years. It still gives me goosebumps. I still love it, and that's why we do it. That's why we work. Of course, there's money compensations, but at the same time, if it wasn't something that was good for the country of origin, our country, the individual, his or her families, I don't think I'd be as excited as I am about doing this. But really changing people's lives, because that's what this thing is about. It will change your life if you do it, or when you do it, and I think for the better. And I think more international traveling, or more international education is better for for the planet. It brings understanding. It brings collaboration. It brings just a higher level of um, of understanding among different nations, and I think we can use a lot more of that.
Wonderful. I completely agree with you. I myself have had the opportunity to live in three different countries and have had the opportunity to learn a lot from that. So,
Yeah.
totally echoing your thoughts. So, we have come to the end of our questions, but we'll leave you with one last question. What are some tips and some advice that you can give our students who are watching this?
Well, I'd say you can do your own research, and that's very valid. Parallelly, or on the other side, you could and should also uh, work with people, work with professionals in the industry, because this industry is managed that in the way where agency or a big part of it. Agencies are able to guide you. I know there are different kinds of agencies, but when you work with reputable agencies and agencies that offer a full service, they could really save you a lot of time and give you a wider vision of what is offered, what is available in the country, and also a quick way to get there in terms of knowing about the English requirements for the program in Canada, where to live, where not to live, all these kinds of questions. There are so many questions that students have because they don't know the country. I think working with individuals that know and care, and be sure that you understand all the options that are available to you, and all the requirements that are also available to you, because sometimes we forget a little thing, and that put everything in jeopardy. So again, working with people that can guide you, I think, is very, very important. And trust the process. Trust the process, because it will be fine. It's a great country to come to. It's a great educational system, and it's a very welcoming place as well. So that's what I would say.
No, I think that's very well said. I'm sure that people who are watching have a lot of information to take home and think about. But thank you so much for joining us, Bruno, and answering all our questions. We're really happy to have you here with us.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you. So that was Bruno from Class Education. If you still have questions, please comment below and we can address it on our next episode. We also provide CAEL test lessons on a separate playlist. It's called CAEL Prep with Brandy. We drop a lesson every week. Please check it out. We've covered academic writing, reading, and listening so far. We also have some great news for you. The CAEL test can now be taken in Japan, Mexico, Brazil, and Colombia online. These four locations, along with USA and Canada, make up 6 locations that you can take the CAEL test online at home. It's a wonderful opportunity for you to start your journey to Canada right at home. Please also note that if you are an international student living abroad or in Canada, you may be eligible for the CAEL scholarship. If you took the test in any of our available locations on or after July 2020, or if you're planning to take the test, please do check us out. I will link our scholarship page below. If you have any doubts about your eligibility, please do leave us a comment. Until next time, please stay safe and have a nice weekend. Bye.